Hello and welcome back to Diesel Railcar Simulator. Thank you very much for joining me in today's video, and I have moved up in the world of trains, at least in terms of number of carriages, because in today's video I'm going to be hauling an 8-car, or it is going to be an 8-car consist, and I'm going to be driving in an area that even previously when I did this a few years ago, I've never actually driven in. So this is the, if I go back, this is whatever this line is, North London line. And the route that I'm taking, which I've now lost, of course, is, I believe, that's a 4-car. So this tells me, I learned that this tells me how many cars I have. So it is the short semi-fast up, but it isn't that one, it's an earlier one. There it is. Short semi-fast up. That appears to be the one. Maximum speed of the train is going to be 70 miles per hour. This is a mainline, so I'm hoping that things work out a lot smoother than the last video, where British Rail, in true British Rail fashion, ended up messing itself up and late because they decided to put me behind a stopping service. A semi-fast behind a stopping service. Sounds just like my Transport Fever 2 series, because that seems to be what I end up doing, although I am trying to fix that. So anyway, today's video we are going to be starting at the Estel Hardley turnaround, departing at 8 minutes past 10, getting to Estel Hardley at 11 minutes. I think that's going to be much faster. Departing a couple of minutes later, passing Bigley, not going to make a comment about that, passing Biggleston, Lille, Bolherston, and I believe that's... Okay, so I'm not sure if that is Staffington or Stowington. That could be Stowington. Or it could be Staffington. It really... or Stoffington? No, it's Staffington. Then we are going to be stopping at Abbotsgrove and St Padding's Cross, which in the last video I said is probably some sort of combination of King's Cross and Paddington, and St Pancras. So make sure you stay tuned. Let's get started. And you know what? Let's put... right, I have no idea what some of these things are, so I'm just going to... Let's make an adjustment on this. So I think that's cloud, that's fog. So let's go ahead and do... Let's do that and see what that brings for this particular video. For all I know, it could really mess things up. So I learnt indeed that it does mess a few things up, but I have managed to get to a point where we've got some fog and it looks fairly reasonable. Now, I'm just going to make sure that everything is okay and ready on my controls, just to ensure. So apparently we now have, so in this train, which by the way is not the train that I said I was starting with, I think I said it was a 101, this is a 127, it has 1, 2, 3, 4, and then D for drive, I assume, and then neutral. I'm not sure why that isn't gear 4, but there we go. We'll start in neutral, I guess, and that seems all ready to go. So we'll go ahead and do that. We are at the turnaround. This train is a little different, so I'm going to try and figure out where on earth I put the key in. There it is. There's the key. We'll start the engines up. And it is a four-car train, so we'll go ahead and do that. And we've got a moment to have a look at our train. So I can just do that and take a look. I mean, that doesn't look too shabby. It's a bit generic, but it's a train, and it's a fairly big one at that. I should probably start paying a little bit more attention, get into the cabin, and I think we should be able to go. Let's start reducing. Yep. Get rid of the brakes, or shut the brakes. Now you can see it is taking time for the brakes to release. It is a bigger train, so I need to take that into consideration. Let's start moving. There we go. Oh, it's definitely a much bigger train. I guess I could drive from this position if I wanted to. So I'll have to see. I will definitely have to see how I end up driving this, because I think it is going to be quite interesting overall. So we are at the turnaround, doing 10 miles per hour. Again, with it being such a long train, if I go out there, you can see just how long the train is. There we go. Slight downhill. I'm going to be done for speeding, of course. There is the platform that I need to be pulling into. I'm just going to coast into it. There really is no other thing, nothing else I need to be doing. I guess I could leave it in neutral as I coast into the platform. It is a little misty today, so it's a good test of the weather, I suppose. Get myself ready on the brakes. I'm supposed to be stopping at the S sign. That's what I'm told that I'm supposed to do. And I have no idea how difficult it is to actually stop this train, given the size of it. So I'm just going to leave it with some gentle, very gentle brakes, and just let it ease its way into wherever it needs to be. I'm early for my destination, early for this stop, so at least I know that I can just try to understand. There it is, S. So it's just give me an idea of what this train feels like. Now this is telling me that I need to stop the train now, but according to the instructions, the train should be stopped at the S. It's telling me to stop the train. I'm going to see where the back of the train is. It's in the platform, so I guess that's all right. Maybe I do not need to go all the way. I do like the fact that these doors now open and close. I've never noticed that before. Well, obviously I noticed it in the last video, but not... they are a little bit juddery. Not previously, a couple of years ago. I do not think that was a thing. We are just going to be sitting here for another minute or so, but that's fine, because that gives me a chance to potentially have a bit of a look around. This is going to be interesting, because I haven't driven a train that is this long in this title. I don't think. I may have done a freight train, but that freight train was just passing through everything. There was no stopping. It was just, yeah. I think there was a stop. I remember having to stop at what did I have to stop at? I do remember having to stop somewhere. Was it for traffic? Not entirely certain. There was something. Got to be very careful here, because the time is about to be upon us. Thumbnails and all of that. back inside we go, get the train ready. And let's see how quickly we manage to get through. So it looks like there's a 25 and then a 10. I think that is a 10. It's just, can I zoom into that? No. Release the brakes, put it in gear. And just try to get the train to move. Come on. The brakes are really holding it. There it goes. That is interesting, comparing the different sizes of the trains. The fact that this is actually a thing is really interesting. So the different lengths of the consist means that the brakes work differently. This train sounds different as well. That is the other thing. I have no idea what speed that is. I'm not sure it is 25, but we'll have to find out. I can only assume I'm crossing over. Maybe it's a 30 or a 40. Oh, there's something. Does that say 90? It does. This train cannot do 90. But I suppose I'm going to give it a go. So, being a mainline, this should be pretty good. There's 70. This should be pretty good for getting up to speed. That's what I was going to say. 30, 31, and this train does seem to work differently. It operates differently. I've got it in third, and it's just it is climbing, but we'll see how fast I can get this train. As I said, I think the speed is 70. I think this train cannot do more than 70 anyway. So let's see what we come up against today. The mist is quite nice. Again, to the developer, maybe work a little bit on the pop-in and the weird adaptive tessellation or whatever you've got going on. And whatever you've got going on with the ballast. I assume now I just leave it. Off we go. Now that is the kind of bridge that I want in Transport Fever 2 that I cannot quite find. There are bridges similar, but not exactly like that. Why does it cut the power? Why did it do that? That was weird. That was really odd. Should we have a look from... Oh, there we go. That's a reasonable view. I would say that's a fairly long train. For this, anyway. It is still, in effect, a commuter service, but fairly long. Now, I'm hoping that red signal up ahead goes green. There it goes. Thank you, AWS. That flag was pointing upwards. What does that mean? Because normally doesn't it face downwards? So what? There's the rattle, the good old rattle. This train does pick up speed. But I think we'll have to ease off a bit here. Let's get it to 70 if possible. Come on, there it is, there's 70. Just passed the station at high speed. If we were to press 8 here, what would we get? That's what would happen. And that's pretty good. Maybe I'll try to get it at the next station. Try to actually jump to the next station and see the train go past. I think we are going slightly uphill because we lost a bit of speed there. Unless I'm supposed to just leave this as 100% the entire time, in which case I'm not sure. We were on time for Bigley, or Bigley, no it's just Bigley. Next one is Bigglesden, or Bigglesden. Maybe the flags do point upwards, maybe I'm just misreading that. That was an 8-car train. Oh no, it does go beyond 70. Because I've got it there, I'm doing 71. I'm not going to brake. I'm not going to brake. The score is not something I'm too fussed about, but I need to... Oh, now I'm doing 72. That's fine. I want to see how quickly I can get to the next station. Where is it? There it is. 73. Maybe I will brake just a touch. 74. $75. Yeah, okay, I'll brake a bit. As not being on the power, it just coasts through. Oh, that's what F1 does. F1 brings up another one. Okay, so that was a bit of downhill, I guess. So I am going to probably lose a lot of points for that, although we did pass Bigglesden on time as well. So this is more of a... I think this is more of a relaxing... a relaxed journey. I see another train that I believe I'm about to overtake. Yes, at the speed that I'm going, I should be overtaking that. That must be doing about 50, judging by the closing speed. The only problem here is actually getting it to 70 and trying to keep it there. But I suppose that's part of the whole Mainline challenge, actually. That's doing about 60. Thank you. Now the question is, will that be... I'm assuming that is going to be stopping. I can only assume that that is stopping. Yes, that is now slowing down quite rapidly. This is a lot more unlike the last episode. This is more, I wouldn't say relaxing. No, it is, in a way it is more relaxing. it's a lot more laid back. Just watch your speed in a way. The last one was more akin to the whole start-stop nature. If we talk about other types of simulators I play, the last one was Microsoft Flight Simulator, or any flight simulator, when you are in the takeoff and landing phase. This is more hand flying an aircraft, but you're in the air and just cruising, but still hand flying, so you do have to keep a closer or relatively close eye on things. That is what I'm getting out of this. That is what I'm seeing, or how I am making an analogy, I suppose, between the different various games. Or Euro Truck Simulator, last one was parking. This one is actually driving on the motorway, or even a country road. It really isn't too problematic. Let's get the tiniest amount of brakes in. The brakes do nothing, or barely anything. Make sure trains are, or passengers are aware. Stand back from the edge of the platform, and all of that. I've said that already. I feel like I've said those exact same words in the last video. Maybe I did. Somebody who's watched both, do let me know. I'm just taking a look also. Whilst I'm driving, this one gives me more of an opportunity to look at the scenery, to really take a look at the scenery and see how things are built, and what the developers have done to actually build this up, how it looks, how accurate it is. As I've mentioned in the last video, I did mention that though fictional, there is this concept of trying to make it as realistic as possible to what a British rail network would be in the 1960s, 70s. I think we're going to be early into Staffington. Could be Starfington. That's another possibility. Staffington, but the English language, when it comes to letters like GH together, you just have no idea. Have I considered the term Stowington? I think I might have. I forgot to beep, so I thought I'd better do that fairly quickly. I'm now a minute early. So with that, I think I'm just going to maybe not cruise so much, just a bit of relaxing. Now the next stop is Abbotsgrove, where I do need to stop. So maybe being a minute early is a good thing, because having to slow down from 70 in a train that I've not done it in before, perhaps something that I need to think of a little bit earlier. Good. In all honesty, I don't think I need to have the signals repeated. No, I don't think I need to have the signals repeated on the... For this one anyway. I don't think I need the signals repeated on the mini-map, whatever this is. Whatever this is called. Right, throttles down. I'll leave it in drive. Get ready on the brakes. because I have no idea where I need to brake for this. I'm going to stop braking. Oh, apparently I'm supposed to be braking. Well, that is a problem. I am much faster than I should be. 10 miles per hour faster than I should be. That's okay. Come on, come on, come on. 20 miles per hour faster than I should be. Well, that's awkward. That's told me to brake way, way too late. That's no good. That was no good at all. I'm going to need to put that in neutral. I've just gone straight past the station. It's a good thing that my arrival was then. Right, time to back up, I suppose. Let's go. Back we go. Of course, it takes a while for it to brake, for the brakes to release. I should have started braking when I thought I needed to stop braking. But given that the target did not tell me that, I thought, well, it's alright. Ladies and gentlemen, we apologise for the simple fact that our driver is a bit of an idiot. On behalf of British Rail, we'd like to give you a train that is on time. Ta-da! In fact, we're going to give you a train that is early. Could do with a mirror. I'm just going to back up. How far do I have to go? Oh, it's not too far away. One carriage, or two carriages. Sorry. My apologies. I do apologise. Sorry. Keep saying sorry, I suppose. That is where I was supposed to stop. Well, somewhere around there, maybe slightly further back, but we're alright. Whoops. However, we're on time. And the doors are shut very quickly. Put this back into forward. Make sure I do that. I'm going to try and perhaps release the brake a bit. To get moving a little bit faster, I'm going to release this brake to about 20%. No, in fact, I'm going to release the brake to 10%. This train seems to be able to be held at around 10% on the brakes. I'll just leave it there. 17% will do. Just to see. It's still losing pressure slowly. No, don't add more pressure in. Maybe I should use the handbrake. What? No, that won't work. Right, this seems like a good time to get back in and get ready to go. So we're in forward, put it in gear. Release the brake entirely. That is how we do it. Okay. That is a lesson learnt on larger trains. Excellent. So how does this train accelerate? Because in first gear it is just going. Can I just shift up gear without removing the throttle? Let's try. apparently I can. Okay, that's different. That's quite different. In fact, it doesn't seem to change anything. It just seems, I've just realised that does not seem to actually change anything. Right, learn about the speeds and the braking distances of this train. We've got a 55 coming up. We still have a few minutes to go to St Padding's Cross, as it were. And then we've got a 55, then a 40. So perhaps we should stay around 45, 50. That is a gear change. That's what that is. So maybe you just put it in drive and just leave it. Maybe that's what you're supposed to do. Right, just ease off. There we go, into the 55. Now this does remind me of approaching to something like Paddington. Yep, I don't know how to... What's the... There it is. No, don't apply the brake, please. There we go. Just couldn't find the control. Couldn't find the button for the sunflower. So, for those of you who are unfamiliar with AWS systems, if you do get an AWS system and an AWS alarm or an alert, if you do not respond fast enough, it will just it's green for me now. It will just just apply the emergency brakes. So there is that. So just be aware of that. Which is exactly what just happened to me. We'll just continue crossing over onto the track of choice, which is all the way across, it appears. Then we've got a 40 back into a 25, and then a 10, which is probably where St Padding's Cross is. Now the question is should we accelerate to the 40? That is the question. And in all honesty, I think we should be alright just sticking around about 30 for this. I don't see any point in accelerating all the way up to 40. We've also noticed St Padding's Cross is not on the map for some reason. Right, there we go. So I think we're just better off sitting around at this speed. Well, this has been quite an interesting journey. Different, very different to the last one. But it appears to work. That looks like a slight downhill section coming up. So this is going to blare it again. There it goes, but this time I know where the button is. The approach is somewhat like an approach into a London terminus. Well, not something like Victoria, which is up on an embankment first, and then it goes underground. Oh no, sorry, that's Vauxhall. What does Victoria's do? Does Victoria's go underground, or Cannon Street, Fenchurch Street, they all go up above. That looks like an approach just like King's Cross or St Pancras through the tunnels. That is a very much King's Cross approach. Ooh, and the buildings. Buildings do look quite nice as well. I'm actually going to start slowing down to 10. Definitely going to slow down to 10 here. Okay, moving across. Come on, not 6, not 5. Brakes again. 4. The people must be looking at this train going, what is the driver doing? This is actually a fairly nice station that they've got here. Now this bit does remind me of Victoria a little, but then also Paddington is not that far off and King's Cross is not that far off, so just trying to think, does Victoria, never been out of Victoria, never really followed the line out. That's something I've got to take a look at. And let's just start getting the brakes on as we get towards the end. Where's the back of the train? That's a good question. Is it in? This is in. It's definitely in. Oh, I'm in the wrong side. Oh, you can just stop here, I guess. If it accepts it. It does. 1 minute early. No extra points for that, but let's press escape to complete the run. And take a look. 1,807 is what I got. You lose 28% for those. So repeat controls on screen. That's not the one. That's one. Repeat signals. I could probably save 10% there. Shell station stopping time. But yeah, that one was a mistake. Speed limits exceeded 30 times. Yeah, I probably need to do that. Unsafe driving. 17 times. That's an interesting one. I'm not sure about that. Energy use, 87.7, so I did save them fuel. And I was on time. So for British Rail, that's a big thing. But anyway, I think that was my biggest... That there was the biggest flaw. But anyway, that's a look from Estel Harley to St Padding's Cross in... what's this one called again? North London? Is that what they call it? Just sounds like a Londoner saying London. Where are you from? All right, from London. Anyway, so that is that. The other one I have done before. You can see the score is quite different. Was this newspaper one that was done a long time ago? What I might do in the next video, if I find a reasonable one to do it in, 217 more services. What is that? Oh, that's all. No, that's... I might do one of these. Lights loco. No, not... But then I have to take a Class 03, and I'm not keen on the Class 03 yet. I might take a look at it, see if it has been improved. And if so, I might do that. But these are fairly long... Yeah, these are fairly long runs. So I'll have to have a look. So for now, I shall end this video. Thank you very much for watching. Please remember to, what's this? Run times shift experiment. Let's have a look at this. Please remember to click on the like button if you like this video. Subscribe to the channel for more videos on Diesel Railcar Simulator. I might try some of these. This could be interesting. Just trying to drive around up and down, what do they call it? Mountain pass. Yes, leave a comment in the comments box below with your thoughts, suggestions, and what you think. If you can do so, please do consider supporting me on Patreon. Link in the description box below, as are links to my social media and Discord server. That is all from me. I could do a full run on this. There we go. Oh, it's just got... Well, that's the main line? What? Okay, apparently that was the main line. Yes, that is all from me, and I shall see you next time in Diesel Railcar Simulator. Now, this looks interesting. Perhaps do one of these, a more complicated main line. Let me know what you want to see next, and I'll see if I can oblige.